Imagine a fortress that rises from the desert like a sheer blade of rock. On top, a stronghold. Below, nothing but heat, emptiness, and the silence of the wilderness. This is Masada. After the Romans crushed Jerusalem in 70 CE, one last group of Jewish rebels, often identified as the Sicarii, refused to surrender. They retreated to this natural fortress, a place that seemed untouchable, and dared the Roman Empire to come and get them. For a while, Rome hesitated. Was this last stubborn stone in the desert even worth the effort? They decided it was. But this wasn't going to be a quick, glorious assault. The Romans did what they did best. They engineered a victory. First, they built a massive wall all the way around the base of Masada, a circumvallation wall. This wasn't just to keep the defenders in, it was a statement, a ring of stone that said, "Escape is impossible. We are not leaving." Day after day, the siege became a massive construction project under the scorching sun. The Romans set up 8 camps, laid down patrol routes, and slowly tightened their grip. The rebels on top could only watch as the might of the empire methodically surrounded them. Yet, Masada still stood high above, seemingly out of reach. That's when the Romans started the impossible part. They decided to bring the mountain down to their level. They began building a massive siege ramp, a colossal earthen structure scaling the western cliff face. Thousands of captured laborers and soldiers hauled timber, stone, and earth, piling it higher and higher. Under constant fire from the defenders above, they turned the landscape itself into a weapon. Inch by inch, foot by foot, the ramp grew. The fortress that once seemed so secure, so untouchable, began to feel reachable. You can imagine the feeling inside the walls as that ramp crept closer, a slow, unstoppable tide of earth and Roman determination. Finally, the ramp reached the top. A siege tower and a heavy battering ram were hauled up its length. The thud of the ram against the fortress wall echoed across the desert, again and again, until a section of the wall crumbled. A breach was made. The Romans planned to storm the fortress the next morning. And here, history becomes a story, a legend debated for centuries. According to the historian Josephus, the only real source we have for these events, the rebels chose their fate. Their leader, Eleazar ben Jair, convinced them that it was better to die as free people than to live as Roman slaves. When the Romans finally broke through, they were met, not with swords, but with an eerie silence. They found that nearly 1,000 men, women, and children had taken their own lives. What we know for sure is that by 74 CE, Masada fell. The last major stronghold of the Great Jewish Revolt was gone. The true terror of Masada wasn't just the final battle. It was Rome's terrifying, inhuman patience. It's the story of an empire so powerful it can win simply by deciding it has more time, more resources, and more will than you do. Want the next siege story? Like, subscribe, and comment, hold, or surrender. What would you choose at Masada?